So, Cable TV Adventures 3.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Didn't. Also, dude, you just said fuck in the first 5 seconds. I said not to say fuck in the first 15.
Sorry.
Nah, you know what? Doesn't matter. Fuck it. The video's not going to be promoted. Thanks a lot for ruining everything right on cue. It only took 8 seconds. Cable TV Adventures 3 did not really get off to any solid start or really actually happen, per se.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I kind of slacked off a little bit in this sense. Well, that's not even my fault entirely. So, I didn't start Cable TV Ventures this time. It wasn't 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It was not till like 12 o'clock I started TV Ventures. Mm-hmm. And by 12 o'clock, you kind of lose a lot of the
charm of it.
The charm of it, because now it's starting to get into actual programming a little bit, because we're getting closer to real time. People actually watch TV. Mm. But on top of that, here's the real sad part, right? Went into the fucking master bedroom, had Maya over there trying to keep her calm, right? Going about my business. Fucking TV's logged out of the YouTube TV. I don't know why. Try logging back in 10 times, doesn't work. You know what I have to do? I have to be some sort of a knucklehead watching regular YouTube instead of YouTube TV. So unfortunately, the Cable TV Ventures only happened for about like an hour and a half today, and it was not till like 4 o'clock, which at that point it's already just regular programming.
I forgot that was even going to happen, and I got so excited. I thought that we were going to have our third trilogy episode going.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of happened, but you know, so like last time, for those who don't remember, I was home on a Friday or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 a.m., 1 p.m.
Yeah, and you went to bed at 8:30 a.m.
Well, yeah, I had like 2 hours of sleep, and then I got super high, and I was just watching infomercials / programming. Infomercials geared towards stay-at-home housewives and women in their 50s.
It didn't even occur to me those were infomercials you were talking about. So those weren't just 30-second commercials. Those were half-hour-long infomercials.
Minute long, minute and a half, 2 minutes. One of them was like 4 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty fun times, right?
Yeah.
Today was a little less interesting, because like I said, I wasn't able to watch the TV for a while, which sucked. But by the time I did end up watching, but hold on. So last time I got really high and decided to, watch this stuff and blah, 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 find my inner femininity.
Yeah, this time you didn't get high. You didn't watch
this time, see, I could see why you'd think that. Because, the whole part of the Cable TV Adventures is like, it was like two halves, right? It was the being high part and the actual watching of the Cable TV part.
Yeah, some might say the high part's what made it the adventure.
Well, for instance, so since I couldn't do the Cable TV part, you know what I decided to do?
What?
Smoke twice as much pot in the short amount of time I was trying to watch TV.
Oh, today you mean?
Yeah. This time.
Okay, I see.
So since I didn't have the fucking TV part working for me today, I was like, you know what? I'll double down on that high part.
Yeah, let me get the adventure up and running.
Exactly. So then whenever I get a little bit of a Cable TV fix a little later, if I can work it in there,
And no one's going to care at that point, because the adventure is what everyone came to listen
exactly.
to. So.
And the way the adventure went pretty much was, here's my last time. It was crazy. Remember, last time I was talking about Covert Affairs and Walker Texas Ranger and Charmed and just fucking finding out Psych was played on Hallmark and all this other stuff, right?
Yeah, last time was a real adventure.
All I did on this adventure, besides being more high than I was in the last one, was watch.
I gotta cut you off. I'm sorry. When you say more high.
Higher.
No. I'm not questioning how your verbiage. I'm questioning what that entails for you, because I've seen you fucking. My point is, how can you get any higher than you usually are?
It's not easy.
That's my point. So what do you mean you got higher than last time?
It's tough. It takes a lot of grit and grind.
Yeah, a lot of grit and grind. That's you gotta get up early in the morning. You gotta put the hours in. They say you're only good at something when you spend 10,000 hours working towards it. So now
that's how I'm becoming good at getting high. I used to just get high. Now I'm getting good at it. All right,
that makes sense.
There's a difference. I can understand. Now I'm getting good at getting high.
You used to be an idiot. Now
you should just get high. Every other moron in the world, but now I'm getting high. Now I'm getting high.
I wish I knew what that was like. I feel like I'm still.
You feel that? You did there?
You're getting high.
Now I am getting high.
Yeah, now you understand. That's good.
Now I'm understanding getting high. There's a difference there, all right? It's the operating theta level 9. All right.
We don't actually have a level 9 yet, so thank God.
Thank God for me.
Alex
exactly.
Who's Zelbula? What's his name?
Zimu.
Thank Zimu.
Alex figured Globin. Ninu.
I'm just trying to say random noises till they respond to me.
That'll work out well. It's crazy how he's like the one. It's crazy how Kirk is the one like frontlining on Fox News talking about the writer's strike and the actor's strike, and it's like, wait, you're the fucking Fran Drescher of this group, who also I was shocked to learn is like the president of SAG.
Yeah, I told you I was listening to Theo Vaughn the other day, and he brought that up, and I forgot all about that. It's like that's another thing.
You can be that hot and good at politics.
Oh, that was the other thing they talked about. Him and Mark, exactly. Good point. I'm sorry, I didn't even hear you. Him and Mark Norman saying how Mark Norman was like, we all had a crush on her. Who didn't?
Oh, no, she's great.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, we just talked about that also.
The nanny.
These guys just listening to our podcast.
I'm always like, babysitting me.
I think
it's a double reference, dude. That's a Mark Norman reference and an Arrested Development reference. You don't even get it.
I did get it. You're doing maybe. Why is it cool when you point out you reference something, but when I point it out, you point out how lame it is I point out that I reference something?
Because I don't know who did it.
Dude, this double standard nonsense.
See, when you understand how, when you get getting high, you can do this stuff too.
I only get high.
You just get high. You don't get getting high. But no, it's my Cable TV Ventures 3 resulted in me watching.
Hold on, I'm cutting you off. Fuck whoever said we weren't funny. That was really funny.
That was great, yeah. Fuck that guy.
That guy's always talking about. Fuck that guy.
That guy's like, this podcast sucks. I'm going to go watch Flagrant.
Yeah, and nice.
This podcast sucks.
And whoever's listening and thinks we're not funny, you're fucking wrong too.
Yeah, fuck you also, buddy.
What do you know, you schnook?
What the fuck do you know?
As you were.
So my Cable TV Ventures 3 panned out, in which I watched 3. Well, I watched.
This should be the Cable Adventures spinoff.
Right.
Sounds more appropriate to call it a spinoff.
Right. So you know what? So I came down here, right? And I watched the last 25 seconds
of
a Walker Texas Ranger episode. And they stopped playing it, so that was my experience.
Oh my god, dude, that
to
25 seconds, you were probably like, fuck, dude.
I was pumped.
I'm going into this.
Dude, I was like, listen, I know last time I watched like the first 4 episodes of the series, and now they're airing like, you know, season 3 already or whatever.
Catch up.
I was like, it's fine, I'll fill in the blanks.
Well, you're even higher this go around. So now when Walker hears his uncle talking to him, you also hear his uncle talking to you. So it would have been way better. Really sucks those 25 seconds.
It does suck.
Little tease.
But the benefit of it was I ended up somehow, they like played the theme song at the end of the show too, I guess.
Or call it credit roll.
Yeah, but it was the theme song.
Yeah, sometimes shows do that.
No, it was weird because the way they edited, you know, like when a show collapses on, like when you're watching, you know, when you're watching Charmed on TNT.
Oh, you talking when the boxes like slide and shit?
Yeah, but you know when it like collapses to be a smaller thing to show something else?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I thought it was playing another episode because it showed a theme video.
That's what they usually do when they do that.
But then it just. They're no longer airing that. It cut to commercial break afterwards. I'm like, all right, that was weird. It's weird that they pan into the small picture-in-picture and then cut to commercial break. Yeah, I was like, whatever.
What is this, Get TV?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing.
And then I saw the theme song. Then I came back a second later with the TV, and that's something that they weren't playing the show anymore. The point is, though, the theme song, by the way, just a little side note, sung by Chuck Norris.
What?
Funniest thing in the world.
What?
Yeah, season 1 was missing that fantastical goodness.
Hold on, is it the same theme song?
I don't recall there being a theme song.
Okay,
and
so
if there was one, it sure as fuck wasn't the one I heard today of him being like, I'm just a man in the wild trying to find my place today. It's just like,
that's so funny.
I go down, down, down in the burning ring of fire. And it's like, whoa, that's awesome. But then so I left.
Does he sound like that?
Oh, yeah. He sounded pretty
cool. That's awesome.
I left. I mean, he sounds like me. Sounds less like me and more like what I was doing.
No,
he sounds like a moron like I was. So you're like, does he sound like that? No. He sounds like what I was doing, but actually like
you're cool.
Someone who would say, you know what, you can do the theme song. Because if I did that, like, you know what, Alex, let's hire out a house for that.
Your acting's great, but your singing sucks.
Yeah, let's not do that one. Like, I don't know, guys. My Johnny Cash is like 10 out of 10. Like no, 10 out of 10 as far as like 10th worst, maybe.
Maybe it's because you accompanied it with the words of Ring of Fire, but I knew it was a Johnny Cash impression.
Down in the burning ring of fire.
So
then I changed the channel, and I go over to TBS for a flash of a second.
That sounds like no man's land.
Friends is on. There? And it was, I thought, you know what? Yeah, I'll throw Friends on. Like, that's like a cultural thing. And it's like, dude, it's fucking season 10, and Monica, Rachel, and Phoebe are all ugly. And Chandler's fat. And Ross is Ross.
And Joey's probably fat.
Joey's a little too heavy, too. So it's like, do we want to watch these old people hanging around in this apartment still?
Pretending they're still friends?
Exactly. Pretending that fucking Matthew Perry doesn't have a serious heroin problem at the moment.
That's wild.
Which leads me to my next part, not even the next, the only actual part of the Cable TV Adventures. I watched about 20 seconds of Walker, Texas, and like a minute and a half of Friends, in which Dan DeVito was a male stripper, and that was kind of hot, actually.
Dan DeVito was in Friends?
In season 10, no one gives a shit.
Who's he playing?
A male stripper.
No, yeah, but is he related to any of the characters?
He's playing a male stripper.
So there's no connection to anybody.
They hired a stripper.
That's so ridiculous.
And Dan DeVito shows up, and Phoebe's all like, "You're not hot." And he's like, "Well, you get what you paid for." That's and then hilarious. He like takes off his clothes, and then they all actually realize how sexy he is, and it turned into like this huge all-out fuck fest. It was kind of crazy. And there's a lot of women too. It was like Monica, Rachel, Phoebe, and like 15 random background extras who were, I guess, they were their friends.
Wait a second. You're telling me there's a Friends episode Where the 3 gals fuck Danny DeVito, the male stripper.
Monica kind of just instructed the thing.
That's so on point with Monica.
Yeah, Monica was kind of just like, being the foreman of the fucking.
Before we get to your adventures,
right?
I'm gonna throw the Sex and the City question. I'm gonna frame it in the guys of Friends.
What
Miranda. Friends character? Who are you in Friends?
Who am I in Friends?
Yeah.
Probably, unfortunately, probably unfortunately Chandler. Which isn't like a good thing.
You are Chandler. Wow.
But probably it's not. I'm not saying that in a positive way.
Did you even do the whole "can you be any more dumb"?
Shut the fuck up, okay?
No, holy shit, you sound just like him. Actually, listen back to
actually
every
invented
episode.
Sarcasm.
Huh?
You know, I actually invented sarcasm.
It's fucking crazy. That's why you're so good at it. You getting being sarcastic.
I know. Can you get any more sarcastic? But no. I don't know. Probably him.
I think I am Ross or Rachel.
Yeah, so you're definitely not Rachel.
Well, of the 3 chicks, I think she's the least enjoyable. I think Phoebe's low-key hilarious.
Yeah,
Phoebe's so funny.
Yeah, the fact that Lisa Kudrow is the woman who didn't get a career post Friends is astonishing.
She might be no, she's not the funniest on the show. She's the funniest of the 3 women. I think Joey. I don't know, dude. I actually go back and forth with my favorite guy on the show is, but Phoebe's the funniest. I think Monica situationally falls into more funny scenarios.
Gunther.
Dude, yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. What kind of fucking ego do I have? Thinking I'm one of the 6 friends?
No, you're like
fucked up.
You know who's?
I got so much to learn. That's why I can't getting high.
Who are you? I was gonna say you're fucking Putty, but that's Seinfeld.
How do you remember Gunther's a character?
He's hot.
Oh, that makes sense.
He's a good looking
man.
You're
into blondes. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Love him. Love him. I always thought it was weird that they had Monica in the show instead of having that third blonde, but thankfully they have Gunther to tie out the Lisa Kudrow, Jennifer Aniston trio.
It's where they didn't just go blonde, brunette, redhead.
Probably would have been a better show. Probably would have lasted 11 seasons.
Yeah, or 12.
Maybe.
I saw about 12.
Imagine if it had Craig Bierko in it instead of
that blows my mind.
The actual Chandler Bing.
That blows my. You know what's crazy though? Most of the time,
you know what? Come to think of it, I know you could say that Matthew Perry, $1 million an episode for the final season. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And Craig Bierko would love to have that. But it's like, do you think Craig Bierko wants to also have a crippling heroin addiction? No.
Oh, so you're assuming just that comes with the cost of being Chandler?
It's a successful show. Someone had to do it. We saw what happened, right? Everyone else was in those other character roles. None of them fucking went off the deep end. So obviously, it was just the person who's playing Chandler Bing was going to have the problems.
Dude, your best friend almost became Chandler.
I know. That's what I was going to say. Do you think he would trade in our Twitter connection? Because he wouldn't be answering me if he was a heroin addict from Friends.
Yeah, exactly. He'd think he's better than everyone.
Yeah, but now that since he's the guy from Cinderella Man who loses,
he would have thought. It wouldn't have been enough to have Friends under his belt.
No.
Then he had The Odd Couple under his belt.
True.
He would have been like, I need to talk to this.
Yeah, but now
because
now he's leaving him have this nice, this fruitful bond on Twitter.
What's interesting about that is most of the time when you find out
X.com.
Usually when you find out that an actor is supposed to play a part, it's like they never would have played it that way.
Yeah.
I almost feel like his performance would have been roughly what Chandler
almost
is.
the exact same. Yeah.
I think, you know what? No.
Better.
It would have been better.
It would have been better because it's Craig Bierko.
Exactly.
That show would have gotten 11 seasons.
We would have gotten that nice theater trauma.
He's better looking.
He is better
Craig Bierko can pull fucking Monica,
He's in a nice twilight of his looks right now.
Exactly.
He looks good with the
He's aged well. Yeah, I can't say Matthew Perry's the same. Yeah, Craig Bierko can definitely pull Courtney Cox. I don't think Matthew Perry can pull...
Skinny Matthew Perry.
I don't think Matthew Perry can pull David Schwimmer. All right.
Skinny Matthew Perry can pull David Schwimmer quicker.
No, because Skinny Matthew Perry has like that weird hair they tried giving him, like he's Dean from Gilmore Girls in the first season.
I don't know. Controversial opinion. I think Matthew Perry pulls the hair better than Dean does. I think Jared Padalecki should change his hairstyle.
I think Jared Padalecki should be put down.
Because Walker, that's the thing.
Yeah, fuck that.
Why the fuck is Walker?
I was thinking about that too in the theme song. Like, there's no way that theme song for that show is him singing.
No, actually, Jared Padalecki sings it.
That'd be really fucking stupid. Stupid when he does it. I didn't get to my Cable TV Adventure yet. Okay,
it's a spinoff.
Cable TV Adventures 3? Question mark? Cable TV Adventures 3. I watched
spinoff.
I watched fucking South Park on Comedy Central. And I was under the impression going into it, I was like, you know what? It's not going to be much, as I've seen South Park. I know it backwards and forwards. I know like the back of my hand. Uh-huh. And then I watch. You're thinking like, well, how many episodes did you watch? 1, 2, 3, 3. Exactly it. 3. I watched 3 episodes. Right.
That's a good guess on my part.
I watched the first episode. So again, I watched 3 episodes of a show that I thought I knew backwards and forwards. Right.
Uh-huh.
Also, I never watched on TV. I've streamed it. Right. Like a fucking loser. Okay. So I've never had the commercial breaks, and the commercial breaks were fine. I didn't think anything of it. It was a little weird that the show looked like the drawings were like lower quality, something like just like it was less HD. Maybe it was in standard definition. I don't know. Besides the point, though. The first episode is the one of the homeless people when it's like it becomes the Dawn of the Dead and they're all in the mall and everything, and Randy shoots them. Blah 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 blah.
Yep.
California, right there. Send the whole people away. Seen it.
That's a funny episode.
So now imagine again. I showed that I thought that I was under the impression that I knew like the back of my hand. The funny thing about the back of my hand is it's actually located on my cock. Okay.
You're not familiar with that at all.
I'm super familiar with it.
Oh.
Episode 2 that comes on, right? I'm like watching it for 5 minutes. I'm thinking, wow, this doesn't even seem remotely familiar.
So they don't play them in order. They just randomly throw episodes in there.
I can see why you'd say that. So the first episode I watched was season 11, like episode 9.
Which we've seen.
Sorry, season 11, episode 9. I said that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they throw on like season 11, episode 13, and then episode like 15.
All right.
So some of the middle are missing, right? The weird part, though, is the second episode that comes on is somehow, again, the show that I thought I knew backwards and forwards is an episode I've never seen before. It's called More Crap, and it's the biggest piece of crap I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
To the point where if I didn't watch the show before and someone put that episode on for me, I would never watch the show, would never consider watching it. You could have the hottest piece of tail walk in here begging me to watch it. For whatever reason, that's her agenda.
It's our favorite episode.
Yeah. Not just to watch the show at all. I'm like, no, I'm not watching a single frame of it. That's how bad this episode was. It was about Randy, which is always a good start.
Yeah, half and half.
It was about Randy taking a giant shit and being like, wow, this is fantastic. This is amazing. I should send this to my friends. And then his wife's like, you're such a pig. And then he's like, oh, Sharon, you don't get it, right?
You don't get it.
He proceeds to try to figure out if there's a world record for it. Finds out that there's not because the Guinness World Records is like, that's gross. Why would we? No, we're not going to vindicate that, blah, blah, blah. And also, it's so stupid. When he's showing, he has it saved with lights on it, and I'm going to throw up talking about it. Nice. And he has his 4 idiot friends there. It's like the Hicks, the Uncle Bob or whatever, and everyone else. And he's like, as you can tell, there's no splits in there. It's all one piece. It's like, shut up. Okay, and then hold on, and then it gets further because then so America's not doing that. He finds out like in Norway or something they're doing they keep the study over there. So then he calls them up and they want to see it and they come and inspect it and they have all these tools and they're like, well, this is phenomenal, sir. And then he's like, is it the record? And they're like, it's not the record. The record is actually held by Bono. And then Bono becomes a character in it, and then he's just a douchebag, which that part was pretty funny and on par.
Bono being
an enormous, colossal piece of shit. Actually, that's very on brand and totally edited up, and was not there. There was no suspension, of disbelief needed.
Now, is it a good impression or is it their usual impressions?
It's their usual impressions, but the drawing looks just
so
like
much better. That's really?
Yeah,
that's so fucking funny.
However, it stops being funny when. Then Randy, oh my god, too, they have it where Randy like is constipated and then he goes to get a sonogram of his shit and the person is acting like, there's, you can see them look right there and they're like, oh my, look how cute. It's so gross and so stupid and so not funny and they're trying to save their hide by having it every couple of minutes pops up on the screen. I guess they know it's a bad episode because every couple of minutes on the screen, it flashes on the screen saying Emmy award-winning series, showing Emmys.
That's funny.
So I guess it's them saying like, fuck you to the man making a terrible episode, but it's just, don't do that. Maybe make a good episode instead. I don't know. But then it turns out where like Stan has the epiphany when he's like looking into the research about how Bono's #1 at everything, and Stan's like, well, can't you let my dad be #1 at this and you can be #2? He's like, no one calls me #2 anymore, right? And it's like, okay, it's foreshadowing. And then
is somehow #2 related to #2?
Yes.
That's so dumb. That's such
and then
an easy
Stan is in the car with some guy, and he finds out that the record of Bono's largest shit, and they have it where it's like measured in some made-up measurement, where like, oh, it's 18 quintuplets or whatever. Right. When Bono, like, it was 1960, and so it was like Bono was born in 1960, and then Stan's like, oh my god, Bono wasn't the record holder. He was the record, implying he was just a giant piece of shit that was born. Oh. But then it turns into the punchline of the one guy who runs the measuring company, measuring record holders, is actually, he took the shit that was Bono and raised it to be his son, and it became a person who's now just spelling shit out all the time, and it was just stupid and not funny. And then Randy ends up taking a giant shit and goes flying into the air from his shit, and they fucking stick an Emmy in it.
Wow. You think those...
Oh, that's the best part! When the guy gives his big speech at the very end about how Bono's his son who he's nurtured and turned into a 6-foot-tall pile of shit, he then takes his tit out and has Bono start like breastfeeding off him, and Bono's like, and just sucking his nipples. And it just... I was going to have an aneurysm watching it. So that was my start of the cable TV adventure.
It sounds more like a nightmare.
Yeah.
So do you think those guys got bored?
Have you seen that episode, though?
No.
I haven't.
So I thought that the only thing we couldn't watch on HBO was the
I thought so
banned
too.
episodes.
I looked it up online. I looked up. I'm like, I'm sorry. What episodes are banned on HBO Max? And then it said just the 5. I'm like, hey, well, it wasn't one of those 5. So I'm like,
Yeah.
that type of the name specifically. I'm like, this on HBO? Question mark. And it says it is, but I don't recall. I didn't check. I didn't check.
Maybe we skipped it immediately.
Maybe. But I don't remember the setup for it at all. I don't remember the name or anything about it. And then the fucked up part was the next episode that comes on of the show that I thought I knew backwards and forwards, I also haven't seen before.
That's crazy.
So a show that I thought I knew every episode of, and I've seen everything of, all the things. Of the 3 I happened to catch on TV, I saw one of them.
This is actually the perfect trilogy episode if you think about it, because like all great trilogies, a thorough makes you have to revisit what the concept even is.
That's a really good part.
And you had cable TV adventure 1, cable TV adventure 2. You think you're going cable TV adventure 3, going to an all-time like a nice safe place, going to South Park, something you're familiar with, and in reality, it's this wasteland of craziness you've never even experienced with. You have to reevaluate what it even means to like South Park, let alone cable TV.
Well, no, because thankfully
this truly is
the
a
third
trilogy.
episode. I guess that was the middle part, so where it's like now we're in the resolution.
Now we're in the climax.
Yeah, or like yeah. Basically, the third episode though that I also somehow miraculously just never saw before.
So you saw 3 back-to-back South Parks you've never seen before.
No, I saw 3 total, and the second and third I hadn't seen.
Gotcha. Okay.
The third episode was about Guitar Hero.
Nice.
Never saw that episode.
Yes, we have.
I have not seen that episode.
Stan and Kyle are playing Guitar Hero, then some record agent finds them.
Wow, we have. Okay, so then apparently we have seen this episode. I was going to say this is insane. It's such a good episode. How we've never seen this before, but apparently we have seen it.
It's a great episode. It's hilarious.
Wow. Okay, well, I never saw it then somehow, miraculously.
Maybe you fell asleep on that one. We were
no, it never happens. That's only you who does. You're only piece of shit who does that because you're a little toddler who can't. I just can't keep my eyes open. I'm a sweet beat.
Dude, my eyelids are heavy eyelids. Everybody knows that. Anybody who knows anything about me knows
anyone who knows anything about you knows that you
eyelids.
have extremely thick eyelids.
Yeah, I actually beat the world record, believe it or not.
Yeah, really?
The Guinness World Record of having the heaviest eyelids.
That's insane.
So, sorry.
That's something you work on, or is there like exercises you can do for that?
No.
Speaking of which, now I'm actually mention this again because every once in a while pops up in my head for the last 3 weeks to show, or last 4 weeks to show how traumatized I am from cable TV adventures 1 or 2, whichever I mention it in. That whole commercial of the woman just doing Kegel exercises casually, and her mom being like, "Stop the Kegel exercises. Just get leaky panties."
I also do Kegel exercises I'm doing it right now. You can't even tell.
Isn't the male Kegel exercises something weird though, where it's like stop pissing, start pissing, stop pissing, start pissing?
That's how you get infections. So don't do that.
Yeah, that sounds stupid and
squeeze
lame
your taint.
and not
It's the same
cool.
concept.
Yeah, that's rough. But okay. Well, then I thought I was gonna explain the whole third episode, and how funny it was, and how they kept playing the "Carry On My Wayward Son" over and over again. Like they just really wanted to get their use of the song license.
It's still really funny. You can explain
They had it in the so basically it opens up and the kids are playing. Stan and Kyle are playing "Carry On My Wayward Son" on Guitar Hero, and then all the guys are behind them cheering them on. And then Randy walks in and he's like, "What? These kids play guitar now?" And Sharon's like, "No, they're playing Guitar Hero, some silly game with buttons on it. You know, they spend half the time that they spend playing that game to learn an actual instrument. They'd probably be great."
Not true.
Not true at all.
I've tried learning guitar multiple times. I can't.
They don't understand the fact too that the whole appeal of the video games is that you just pick up and you play. It doesn't take the hours and hours. Yeah, you get better at games, sure, but you usually just start off being pretty good. If I could start off playing a full song on the guitar, yeah, maybe I'd learn a couple songs. Okay.
That's such a good point. Who wants to learn chords? I can press 5 buttons now and feel like I'm playing, and then go back to my life.
Lead developer, piece of shit, fuckface, no good, talentless hack is the one who led the game development for that knockoff Guitar Hero with an actual fucking guitar.
Oh,
what shit dick had that idea?
I know what that game is. I have that game.
Actual fucking needle dick, honestly. You know how everyone loves that game where they can pretend they know how to play the guitar and just kind of fuck around? What if we made it super complicated and just playing a guitar?
Well, funny thing you should mention that. I have that game, and I've played that game.
And it fucking sucks?
Well, there's an adapter, so you can just plug your actual guitar into the Xbox or PlayStation or whatever.
Right.
I still can't play guitar.
Yeah. It's weird almost as if it's like that requires a lot more than a fucking video game to learn.
Yeah, and it's weird too because playing it on easy, you play a fraction of the notes.
Yeah.
So I'm not really learning anything. In fact, I guess that argument wasn't that great, but it's still really hard. It doesn't translate well.
Right.
Say it that
so
way.
then Randy's like, "What? They learn how to play? It's just a game." Then he goes in there and he's like, "Hey, kids, check this out. It's pretty cool." He starts playing "Carry On My Wayward Son" on the actual guitar, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" And they're all like, "Sir, that's really stupid. Can we go back to watching this?"
Dude, how do you not remember this episode?
So then he gets mad, walks away, and leaves. They go back to playing for a third time in a row. They're playing "Carry On My Wayward Son." Then later on in the episode, we see Stan practicing again, playing "Carry On My Wayward Son." Then later on, there's a part where he's like, "You know what, I need to get my head off of the Guitar Hero." So he goes to the store, and the guy's like, he's trying to figure out how to get better Guitar Hero, so he's gonna go buy a game manual for Guitar Hero to figure out how to get better. And then the guy's like, don't do that. Maybe you should get a game to take your mind off things. So he gives him Heroin Hero, which is a game where you're just running around injecting heroin into your veins as you're chasing a dragon that you'll never catch no matter how much you play. And there's no other thing. You're just constantly running after it to catch the dragon.
How did the guys that write that
I don't
also
know.
write the shit episode?
In the same season. 2 weeks apart.
That's insane.
So then they have it where they're chasing the heroin. And then he gets hooked onto that game. Stan starts playing like crap.
I'm sorry. I can't understand if I thought of this shit idea.
Right, because you're an idiot.
But like, if I presented it to you, you would have ripped it apart
so quickly.
How is there no checks and balance?
I think
There's
Trey
two
Parker
guys.
is just mad with power, and everyone's afraid to tell him the idea is stupid.
That's what I think too.
I think it's one of those things where like, they'll do something, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, okay. I guess you're right. Maybe that's not that good of an idea."
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's like, wow, that person's now they have a further parking spot. It's very passive aggressive. I feel like they have a way further parking spot. Their key code suddenly only works half the time. Suddenly, they're getting axed to do a more remedial task they haven't done to get axed in a while, thinking that's they've gone on past. We asked them in a nice way they feel weird not reciprocating it. We're like, hey, you don't mind stopping getting the coffee order today, do you? And they're like, I guess I'm the executive producer, but I guess I can get the coffee order. He's like, thanks, you're great, you're awesome, and it's gone. And it's gone. I just had the money in here a second ago. Yeah, well, it's gone. It's kind of feel like how he goes about doing those kind of things, But really, my point was, then he gets to a third game. Because he gets off of the heroin game, and he wants a racing game. And as he's in the racing game, and they do like a little cinematic of showing his face, like as if he's actually cruising through the city, like all like fucking Miami Vice style, right? Where he's like having an emotion, he's having like a concentrating, thinking, introspective drive. They play "Carry On My Wayward Son" again.
They don't play the Phil Collins song.
No, so they're just like, all right, well, we paid for "Carry On My Wayward Son," so we should play it 6 times in this 20-minute episode.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, it was a pretty great episode. I'm surprised I never saw it before, even though apparently I did see it before. I don't remember seeing it before. But maybe, honestly, maybe I saw that one first, I would have remembered it. But after seeing the god-awful, terrible, no-good Alex and the Very Bad, Terrible Day that was the more crap episode.
I was going to say, thank God that Comedy Central decided to play that episode so they could salvage it. Because honestly, if there was another third bad one, you probably decided that South Park's not funny.
Sucks.
And you couldn't understand how we possibly watched the show and never watched it again.
Yeah, man, I don't know. It's rough.
Do you
Cable TV Adventures 3 was not the fucking, the trilogy we were all going for. It wasn't the going on top it. This is like Spider-Man 3.
Well, here's the twist, actually. The reason that the third episode wasn't the whole Big Bang anyone was expecting, it's actually supposed to end on a sour note because we're getting another trilogy.
Right. Now we're going to get the prequel trilogy.
Yes.
So then I'm going to go back and retroactively. I guess I'm going to retroactively go retitle them saying 4, 5, and 6, and then add 1, 2, and 3 afterwards. Too much work.
Just put the next ones up.
No, it's not any work at all. It's not any work at all. No, it's super easy. It's just going to be barely an inconvenience. Basically, I'm just going to go back there and change it. Everyone's like, wait, that's crazy, because when you're listening to the recording, they keep referring to this one as the third one, but it's actually the sixth one.
It's going to confuse the shit.
Confuse the hell out of everyone. They got to listen to it twice, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, get all the more views, just so they can be like, damn, I figure out all the meaning behind all the subtext, Read between the lines. One of those kind of things.
Bye, Chiquita.